I think it's really cool how, as realtors, and particularly I find with our team, the Lakes Real Estate Group, how passionate we become with our clients. So many people set off to make that first purchase and deserve to be able to have a home and are misguided.
Absolutely.
And how important their dream and quickly their dream becomes our dream. That's what makes me so proud of our team, is our ability to take on these challenging situations rather than just running to the easiest. Hi, I'm Jen Hastings, and welcome to In the Know, our Blue Lakes Real Estate Group podcast. And today I'm really happy to have Brenna Russell, team member extraordinaire, with us today. And today we really wanted to talk about how important it is to be working with the right people when you're on this real estate journey, and how who you're working with really matters.
It does.
You have some great stories about people you've been able to help, and I'd love for you to share some of those stories with us.
Absolutely. So I'd like to share actually my favorite story of a buyer that I had. And it's actually quite a funny story because my now friend, Sam, we actually met by accident. So she started her house journey much like anybody does. She picked up the phone and made a phone call on a property on Zillow, got a random local agent on the phone. And in that first conversation, unfortunately, that agent told her that with the type of financing that she had and the amount that she qualified for, she was unlikely to find a home and that she should actually give up her search.
Yeah, we hear that a lot. I find that a lot of agents will grab the low-hanging fruit immediately, and that's the person who's got a great cash budget or extremely good credit, financed conventional, so it's clean and easy.
Yep.
And they'll jump on those leads immediately. But if it's somebody that you're going to have to actually really work and really put some effort into helping them achieve their real estate goals,
Yep.
they kind of get pushed to the side.
It's true. And unfortunately for Sam, it was right at the height of the real estate surge. So we're talking 21, 22, when even people with conventional financing and cash were having a hard time finding a place.
Competing.
Yeah, securing a property. And so it was really disheartening for me to listen to this young woman who clearly had, some desperation during our first initial phone call.
Was she a first-time home buyer?
I was a first-time home buyer.
So hadn't been through the process.
She had no idea where to start. She just knew that her current living conditions were not conducive for her and her children, and she had to do something to get out of that situation. And so she was desperate. I heard the desperation in her voice. She broke down in that phone call. It was heartbreaking. And I just felt that I had an obligation to help her at least try. And so I told her, I was very forthcoming with her and very, very honest. And I told her that to a certain extent, that agent was kind of right. It was going to be an uphill battle for her. It was going to be a mountain for her to climb. She was probably going to have to lower her, not standards, but expectations.
What was making it so challenging? Was it the budget?
It was
the budget.
Yeah, it was a combination of things. So not only was, her budget not conducive for the market because prices of homes were rising. People were offering way over asking price. And so that left her with little wiggle room. The other obstacle that she had to face was that her loan was rural direct, or RD is what we like to refer to it.
And they're constantly being overlooked.
They are. It's a government-backed loan, which most loans are, but it comes with certain stipulations. So because it's government-backed, they require that the home be safe for her to live in. Right. It has to meet certain recommendations, and finding those homes in that price range was going to be few and far between. But I told her if she was ready to climb and do some hard work, that I was ready to do that with her and see what we could accomplish.
And so how'd it go?
So we set off really quickly. We started setting up some showings. We identified some properties in her price range that kind of fit her criteria. And we saw some doozies. I have to be honest with you. We saw some things that just were not conducive or improved living situations from what she was currently in. But there was one house in particular that stood out. And I think it was actually the second house that we saw. It had some land for her. She loves to garden and obviously with her kids and wanting to be outside, it offered her the space that she needed.
Yeah.
And the location was good for her and traveling to her job, because that's really important. You can't be far away from your job and school, especially when you have kids, and winter, we deal with weather here. So
Right.
those are all factors. But this particular home had some challenges to it. So the previous owners had let some of the maintenance go. It had some deficiencies that were going to have to be brought up to speed in order for it to qualify for the lender financing.
Right.
So part of Sam's purchase process is having an inspection on the home, and then
Right.
inspection identified plethora of things that needed to be addressed in order for the financing to actually be able to go through.
So you wrote the offer on this house.
We wrote the offer. Offer was accepted.
Did you have to overbid, outbid?
We did not.
What were some of your strategies?
So we went in with a fairly clean offer, offering the asking price,
Okay.
even though the property had been on the market for a while. And the reason that we did that was because we wanted to have a little bit of negotiation room. So part of the requirement for Sam's property, purchasing the property, was that she had an inspection from a third party, which we
Right.
recommend all buyers do.
Yep.
And this just identifies underlying things you can't see with your eyes. And of course, they had certain stipulations. So we had to make sure that the electrical outlets were up to standard. There has to be smoke detectors in all of the rooms. The foundation, the roof, and the structure of the home has to be sound. In this particular case, there were some larger ticket items, such as a water heater needing to be replaced. There was actually a minor structure issue with the center beam and the support to that center beam in the crawl space of the home, and a small laundry list of other things and items that needed to be taken care of. So once we identified the list, we had to then sit down all together, the listing agent, bringing the sellers into the picture and say, figure out how we're going to accomplish these things in order to get Sam and her family in the home. So after through some negotiations, which went really, really well, we worked together. In this particular instance, the sellers were really on board with Sam and her children getting into this home. They felt good about
That's awesome.
passing the home to a family. So they provided a new water heater for Sam. They also went in and did the repair to the center beam, which actually would have been very expensive for my client to repair and probably would have prevented her from being able to secure this home and move in.
Yeah. So I'm assuming you made a list, an addendum of inspection items you wanted them to take care of.
Absolutely. Yep. And so we put that all in writing. Everybody was clear of the expectations, how the things were going to be accomplished. Once we worked through those repairs, we had inspector come back out, check them all off as good. And at that point, we were well on our way to closing.
That's fantastic. It's such a great story. So I'm assuming she's still in the house.
She is still in the house, and we talk all of the time. Actually, I just spoke to her just the other day. They're still doing improvements to the home. She loves her space. She absolutely loves it. And I am so grateful for not only obviously accomplishing my goal of getting into her home, but the friendship that we've gained from that.
Right.
Being able to watch her and her children thrive in a safe place where they can grow up and just enjoy life. That's why I do what I do. And just to be able to be part of that it's everything.
Yeah. The dream of home ownership
Absolutely.
you helped to make come true. I think it's really cool how, as realtors, and particularly I find with our team, the Lakes Real Estate Group, and how passionate we become with our clients
Absolutely.
and how important their dream and quickly their dream becomes our dream.
Absolutely.
We've had the fortune of helping some really unusual or helping out in unusual situations, similar to Sam's story. And I think that's what makes me so proud of our team is our ability to take on these challenging situations rather than just running to the easiest.
Absolutely.
So
And in most cases, Jennifer, those are sometimes the most rewarding.
100%. They really, really are. So many people set off to make that first purchase and deserve to be able to have a home and are misguided.
Absolutely.
Just like Sam may have been, being told that she wasn't going to be able to make this move.
If she had stopped there, I don't know where she would have been. But fortunately for Sam, she's a pioneer and she gets things done. And she happened to connect with somebody who saw her desire to accomplish her goal. And yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I wasn't going to disappoint her on that phone call. And I'm glad we were able to accomplish what we set out to accomplish.
Yeah, it's really important. And I think that's what we do so well is take on those types of situations, no matter how long they may take. We ask our clients to be patient,
Yeah.
not get overworked if we're not finding exactly what they need,
Hmm.
but rarely to never would we turn somebody away.
Absolutely
And
not.
sometimes there's some hard conversations about their financing or about the budget.
That's right. Sometimes they're just not ready. Yeah, sometimes it's just not the right time. And it is our job to be able to have those hard conversations and say, okay, I understand this is your goal and you would like to accomplish that, but today might not be the best time. Let's plan. Let's cultivate a relationship or a long term relationship that gets you to your end game. Because sometimes it takes additional work and sometimes all the pieces have to fit. The puzzle pieces have to be right.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing with Sam and your relationship was you had that hard conversation with her. You were completely open and honest with her that this is going to take a moment,
Yep.
but I'm willing to take this ride with you
Hmm.
and help you put it together. And it's an incredible success story, and it's wonderful for Sam. It's fantastic for you because you've got this great friendship. Yeah, and I think the friendship has actually caused you to have more business.
So
Referral.
yeah, that's it 100%. Sam has referred me numerous friends and family of hers.
Yeah.
And that means the most to me because it says that she trusts me enough
Right.
to introduce me to the people that she trusts and care about on her end because she knows what kind of experience that's going to be for them.
Yeah. And so we started this podcast with who you work with matters. And it's so important because so many people will just walk away
Yep.
when the challenge gets hard.
Yeah.
So, what would you say to any first time home buyer right now trying to do this who has already been told you don't have a high enough budget for me to work with, or you don't have the right lender for me to work with? How do you advise them?
I would advise them to keep
To call us.
to call us. Call us because we can help you. We've got the right people. No, I mean, really, just because one door closes on you doesn't mean that that's the end all. There are a ton of different lender products, lenders out there, different opportunities for first-time home buyers and products that they have. And not even just in that, if maybe you don't qualify for today, like we said, having that plan and that relationship and people around you that you can communicate with, that you can ask honest questions,
Yeah.
and that you can express yourself and gain that knowledge, find the pieces that you're missing. It's all about connecting with the right people who can give you the answers that you're looking for, whether they're the answers you want to hear or not. If you're getting a no from somebody, call somebody else. Pick up the phone, ask your friends and family who they worked with. Who do they know that put them in a good position, somebody that they trusted and that they worked with and that they know from firsthand experience that can help you get some clarity.
Yeah, we always talk about homeowners that are ready to sell, interviewing several different
Imperative.
realtors to find the one that fits with them. But with buyers, they have that same need. They should be interviewing until they find that personality that they know is just going to help them thrive and reach their goal. It's so important.
That's exactly right. Everybody has a different level of work ethic, and that has to match up with what your goals are.
Very, very good. Well, I appreciate your time, Brenna. And I love Sam's story and keep putting it out there.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So, if you are a new home buyer and you're finding yourself in a similar situation to Sam, please feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to be able to have a conversation with you. If you'd like to book a call with us, there's a link in the description. We'd love to talk to you.